What's good? What's good? Welcome everyone to the first episode of the BPL Pre-Show. It's been a long time, since the conclusion of Season 4 last year, but we're done with our slumber and we'll once again be your number one stop to be up to date with everything that's going on in the league. My name is Jimmy, I'll be your host. With me, as always, returning for one more season, it's Spooky. And we're gonna have Biscuit on the desk this week, but last I heard, apparently she's asleep. So replacing her will be Nog, our producer. He's gonna be filling in. How you guys doing? You excited to get the season started this weekend?
Yeah, let's go C-League! Woo! Yeah!
yeah. The scheduling was terrible, but I'm excited.
Some C-League. Yeah, the scheduling was quite the challenge for you, Nog, but that's how BPL is. Now, before we look back and recap what happened last weekend, let's look ahead briefly, because we do have our first weekend, our first matches of the regular season right after this, with Amalgamation versus Crusaders following the pre-show. We'll have a little more to say about that later. And then to close out the day, it's going to be our first B-League match between Jinxed and Tuatha de Danann.
Close.
I hope I pronounced that correctly. I mean, come on. I'm pretty sure not even half that roster can probably pronounce their own team name, so I don't even feel bad about that one. The BPL team, That's what I'm going to call them until I learn it. But that's going to be our schedule for tonight. Quite short day, but the rest will happen over this weekend. So you can see a C-League schedule here. Most of those games will be tomorrow, I believe, and on Sunday. You can look forward to that. Spooky's going to play in one of those matches too, I think, right? Against Cerebral Harmony.
Yeah.
But let's take a look back, because last weekend, of course, we had, I guess, the official start to Season 5 with our kickoff tournament. Something new we're doing this time. Free single Elim tournaments for all our 3 divisions. Something new. And I think the feedback we've gotten for that has been quite positive. I mean, Spooky, you've been a captain, or you are a captain for one of our teams this season. How was the kickoff tournament for you? Or how did you perceive it?
Yeah, I think it's a new and interesting way of beginning the season. Never had it. I think having the showcase of everyone playing multiple games the first week actually gives good practice for the rest of the season to move on.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, it was also helpful for us in the league, because we used it to fill out the groups in A and B League, and for C League we used it to determine the matchups, since we have 8 teams with only 5 weeks of matches. So helpful for us, and I mean, it gave people content. We saw some clips already, some cool plays, some cool tweets, even some rivalries might have formed. We'll have a little bit to say on that in a bit. But you can see the 3 brackets we had here, and of course the groups that were determined by the results. We had the draw of that last Sunday, but quickly looking back on the bracket, of course, we had C-League, and as I said already, Spooky, you were a part of that. So how was your run? I think you made it all the way through to the finals, where you lost to Mirage. But how's it been working on your team, and how did you feel about these 3 matches that you guys had?
For my team, right? The first game against Devour, I was there, all good. We played that game, very nice. Now the second 2 games on Sunday, for some reason the goddamn Mets delayed their game for 4 hours, so I was running home all I can, and I was watching on the phone, going crazy about this Forsaken Hex match, and we pulled it out just on overtime on Rialto, going crazy, and somehow we got it out of the bag, and then I run home for map 2 of Mirage, and it didn't go so well, but it's alright. Grand Finals is still good than being bottom half,
Second place, nothing to hide behind, for sure. And I feel like that's always the narrative with your team, Spooky, is that you always have like a great season. You never quite reach all the way to the top. You haven't really won a single thing yet, but maybe it will change this time. We'll see. I mean, you're just fitting the narrative right now, but season's still long.
My only win is what is it? The British Brawl Week 2 with the Guangzhou Titans, whatever that team was called.
Yes.
All right.
The team that had Mara playing DPS.
Yes, that team. Yes.
Certainly a B-League player.
Yeah.
Remember that. But yeah, quickly looking at B-League, of course, we also had an interesting bracket there. I think the biggest storyline there for sure was the miracle run that we saw of Pack Fellows, a team that after the draft. I'm pretty sure almost everyone, even including players on that team, from what I've seen, have written off. And then look at this, they suddenly just kept winning all the way until the end, where they lost to Power Wash Pirates. But yeah, certainly an interesting run from them. We will see if they can keep that momentum going. I think we have a little bit more to say on Pack Photos just in a little bit when we get to our Preds, because we have chosen one of their matches for that. And then quickly looking at A-League to close this weekend off, we had Teku's team, Frenetic, taking it all the way and winning our A-League kickoff bracket. They looked unstoppable, only dropping 2 maps in total over 3 matches, winning the grand finals over Eye Candy. You know what, Nock? I'm going to throw this one to you. What did you think of Frenetic?
I don't know if I was. I did get to watch this one. I was on B for the grand finals. Yeah. So I don't know much about them. The only thing I know about the A and B leagues is that is that the branding, the higher seeded team that got to skip, they won all their matches in A, right? No, all the A league ones that won lost in their first match, and then the B league, everyone who had gotten the bye won.
No, it's the other way.
It was the other way around?
A-League, A-League. The top 4 season A-League.
I've got both on my screen. Yeah, because I just remember that Doko Demo Drivers lost, and they won, and that was the one. Yep.
Yeah. Definitely an interesting coincidence that in A-League the
better branding equals better team. That's all I'm saying. Teku deserved number 1. Teku deserved number 1. What do you want?
With good branding, chances are you're going to be winning. And I guess if you're on B-League and you have a good branding, then tough luck. But
unlucky.
Yeah. That's it for wrapping up our kickoff tournament. It was a nice time. It was very stressful for us in the league, but I think it was certainly a lot of positives to take away from it. I'm sure we will bring this back in some form in future seasons. Let's move on to something else, because we decided that this season for our pre-show, we're going to get some of you guys out there a little bit more involved. We put out a tweet earlier today asking a question. Let me remember what the question was. It was something about round 1
that was not
exits. Yeah, exactly. So we asked, so these are the teams you see here, these 12 teams. These are the teams that lost in round 1. So they went out 0-1. And we asked you guys on Twitter, what do you guys think? Which of these teams will have the greatest comeback story? We see some of the tweets that we thought were like interesting here. A lot of Plague Doctors. We had to actually cut out some of them, but I think Plague Doctors was the one we saw the most. Not so sure if people were honest about that one. I think some people were maybe memeing a bit about it, but you know what? I can kind of see that, because I feel like Plague Doctors, they are a lot better than people give them credit for. What do you guys think?
I think Plague Doctors can be a dark horse. I feel like it's less likely than a lot. I feel like what is it? B-League, right? Yeah, it's B-League. A lot of the B-League teams right now, it's harder to say what you can look at. I feel like there's a good gap on the top 8 teams for B-League, where the bottom 4 really don't look as good to come back, but there's still always a chance. It's always week 1, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also saw in the chat. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was hoping that they're. I'm pretty sure Plague Doctors had one of our worst availabilities until like Saturday. Like Saturday was the only time they could play on the kickoff, so I'm hoping that'll improve and they'll have be able to scrim. And
they only can play Saturdays. All right, put them on Saturdays.
Yeah, again, they're only available Saturday this week. What?
Yeah, but I mean they had a little rough after the draft. I think they dropped 2 players. We had to do like a little trade behind the scenes, and they also had to replace one of the players. So a little bit tumultuous for them, and some people even on the team were writing it off. But from what I've heard, their scrims have been pretty good. I heard from other B-League teams that apparently they're like pretty good, better than people think. From what I've seen, they've mostly been keeping to themselves when it comes to like discussion about tier lists or whatever, or power rankings, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I agree with Spooky. I think they can absolutely be a dark horse, and I think people shouldn't sleep on them just because they went out early in the knockoff tournament. Another team that I think people shouldn't write off, you can see it on the image here, is Average Joe's in A-League. I think I saw someone in the chat already mention them as well. That was a team that as soon as the draft was over, everyone was like, okay, Average Joe's, you know what, they won A-League, it's over, might as well call the league here. And then they lost to Aquila right away. But I think Aquila, sorry, yeah. Some of these teams, you guys have some weird names. But yeah, they've had some They have a crazy good looking roster. I believe this weekend they're gonna be missing their main tank Bass, but even without that, I still think they have a really promising season ahead, and they're definitely one of the candidates for maybe a top spot in our playoffs. So yeah, is there any other teams you guys wanna?
I want to keep going off this Average Joe's. It's not just like someone else made that mistake, but I love Joe Justice. But Average Joe's, I feel like the streets are talking about them, right? What are the streets saying? The streets are saying that they're good. We haven't seen it yet, but they will be good. All right, the streets are gonna keep talking, and I think they're gonna do good. They're not gonna be a round one team come playoff time. Also, Jace, where's my Lambo? Like, come on, where is it? I want to see it.
I want to see Urchies come out. I love their logo. I love their design. Yeah, so I really want them to succeed and see that logo in like grand finals.
Yeah, you know what we haven't talked about at all is like a C-League team, but you know what, we can segue into our next part, which is match preds, and the first matchup we wanted to do predictions for is a C-League match. Spooky, since you're a resident C-League expert once again this season, I gave you the choice for which match this weekend you think is going to be the most exciting matchup in C-League. So which one did you choose?
I picked WW versus 3AM Cup of Coffee.
And why
is that? Both teams lost to the eventual winners 2-0 against Mirage, right? They both had better lookings than some of the other teams in the other side. Yes, we all know. Yes. And I think these two teams have a chance to prove themselves to see who's actually a top 4 team or a top 3 team going into this season.
Yeah, as you can see our map pool here. I agree with you. I think 3AM, I've heard a lot of good stuff from scrim leagues or whatever about 3AM Cup of Coffee. It was of course a little bit unfortunate that they had to go up against the eventual winners in Mirage right away, which if you look at the bracket, it looks awful for them. It looks like, oh my god, they just lost immediately, they're out. But that's kind of the downside of a single Elam bracket. You don't really have a second chance there if you go up against such a good team like Mirage right away. I think 3AM Cup of Coffee, they definitely have a promising looking roster, a good future ahead of them maybe. As you can see, here's our pred results. I went with 3AM Cup of Coffee. Naki did the same. Yep. Spooky, you went with Winston's Ringeria, our EU team.
Yes. EU team at an EU times.
Based on scrims you had against him?
I would never use scrim bucks for this, alright? If you use scrim bucks, you are a joke. Okay? I think WW, if they play the ball, they will work. Alright? Wheel is the highest SR player. Who cares? But like still, they're gonna use the ball tactic and actually dive on their team. And 3AM Spooka is not it. Alright, I can flame Spooka because it's funny. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winston's Ringer, definitely the best team out of the teams that can only scrim 6 to 8 from what I've heard.
Yep.
I'm sure Punk is very happy about that as a working man these days. But yeah, we're gonna see that matchup this weekend. I'm very excited to see if 3AM Cup of Coffee can keep up with all the hype that I've been hearing about them. Let's move on to B League. This one was gonna be Biscuit's choice, but since Biscuit didn't show up, I picked the match here, and I think this was an obvious choice. I went with Starstruck versus Packfellows because I mentioned in the beginning we might have formed some rivalries already during the kickoff tournament, and this is the one I was referring to because these two.
Oh.
Hey, you can hear us again.
Went to the wrong scene.
Let's go.
People hear us again?
No, yes,
yeah, people can hear us again. I went to the wrong scene.
Okay, I'll repeat myself real quick. Yeah, I'll say just everything again that I just said. Sure. I was saying that this might be our first rivalry of the season because in the B-League bracket, these two teams, there was some drama around maybe potential ringers, making it easy for pack fellows. I said Mara might kill me for leaking this, but I have access to their team chat, so I've seen they've been talking some smack on pack fellows, and they're actually really excited to go up against them and maybe get their revenge. So this should be an exciting match. We should definitely have all chat on for that one. There might be some teabagging. We will see about that. But yeah, as you can see, our Preds here, me and Spooky, we think Starstruck's gonna get one up on pack fellows. Knock, you went with pack fellows. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean they beat him in the kickoff record, right? I mean ringers, schmears, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're coming in. Starstruck have stuff to prove, but I think pack fellows are gonna come out. They got people like Shim out there, Chamora, Peripheral. I think that can go, and also I just have to vote against my red pill Paramara group. So.
No, that's the team you have to back. What do you mean?
No.
But yeah, that's certainly the big question mark with pack fellows because as far as I know, they had to play all their matches this weekend with a ringer. So this will be the first time that they actually have a full roster that they can field with Chamoran back from Japan, I believe. Also, Peripheral is back from their vacation, I believe.
From Japan or else, I think.
It'll be interesting to see if Shim can break their 0% map win curse. I believe it's only been Creamer so far. Whenever Creamer has been in on tank, they've actually won maps. Whenever Shim has been in on tank, they've lost every single map. So we will see if that trend continues, or maybe they can change the narrative around a little bit here. But honestly, this is the one B-League match I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
That leaves us with A-League. This was a match that I actually picked. Actually, I picked that one as well. I just remembered. But yeah, that was the match I was going to pick, was A-League. And with this one, I went with Unknowns versus Frenetic. I think this was a pretty easy choice. Of course, Frenetic, our current knockout champions. They have pretty much everything to lose here because they need to keep that momentum going. They're currently handled as the best A-League team based on results and also roster. So we will see if they can keep that up. And Unknowns, they lost, I believe, in the semifinals. I still think this is a really, really good team that can definitely punch up if they want to. So we will see. I think they can definitely at least get a map off of Frenetic, maybe even get an upset here. However, as I see our results here that we printed, we all went with Frenetic, and I don't think that's much of a surprise.
I am not biased.
Obviously not, as a Teku subordinate.
What?
I'm here for Painless. That's all I'm here for. Lucio one trick galore. He's gonna win. He's gonna win. He came in.
These teams, yeah.
Yeah, he came in, win Kastuna League, and now he's gonna win BPL.
Yeah, so we've all pretty much went with Frenetic here. Well, that leaves us with actually one match to go because, like I said, up next after our pre-show is gonna be our first A-League match of the regular season, which is gonna be Amalgamation versus Crusaders. And you know what? Since we're doing match press right now, why don't we prep this one as well? Can they hear us again? Or
yes,
they can. Yeah, I just have to manually add this one because I didn't do it correctly.
That's fine. Amalgamation Crusaders, two teams that I think Amalgamation went out round 1, whereas Crusaders, I believe they had to go up against Frenetic pretty early on.
In round 2.
In round 2, so they also got eliminated quite early. However, from what I've been hearing on podcasts and tier lists and stuff, people think Crusaders is like a legit top contender.
The streets, you say? I love the streets.
Yeah, that's a new saying. You know, people always come with terms. Now it's always like I hear stuff on the streets, but everyone's been saying Crusaders. They're the big deal, except for Knock apparently. Knock's been going with Amalgamation here.
Yeah.
Just playing yourself. Why do you think they're gonna win?
I'm currently finding. Oh, they've got laser. Oh. All right, I'm just gonna switch my pred quick. I didn't actually look at these teams.
Guys, he can switch his. He can do that.
I made my preds 2 minutes before this. Go laser.
I think we're all in agreement here that Crusaders are definitely the favorite in this one. Amalgamation, though, I don't want to write them off, though. They had some roster issues. I don't think we need to go too deep into that. Some unfortunate things happening, but they do have their roster sorted out now. They have a new DPS with, I believe Melon is their name,
yep.
A friend of Fade on Average Shows. Heard some good things about them. Heard that recent scrims have been going better. So this might be a longer process for them. Will definitely be a tough first matchup, but you know, season's long, everything can still happen. So we will see how that one will play out. And that's pretty much it for our Preds. That's all we had to yap about here. And I believe that's also going to do it for our first episode of the pre-show. I want to thank you, Spooky and Nog, very much for being here. Nog also kind of filling in last minute for Biscuit. We're going to throw to a quick break here, and then it's going to be time for our season opener. Like, once again, Amalgamation versus Crusaders. You don't want to miss this one. We'll be right back after a short break. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
It's Monday morning, and I can't get a hold Hello everybody and welcome finally to Pachimari League Season 5. It's the first match of BPL Crusaders versus Amalgamation, so let's get started, shall we?
Then pummel block, but it's not going to be enough! Frozen tosses in the Death Blossom, finds 4 this fight.
You've got a Pulse Bomb and you've got a Zombie or 2. Oh my goodness, they Kobe Bryant type toss.
I like the wall idea there from Duke, but unfortunately I like the icicles a little bit better. She's going absolutely crazy on the Mei, finds a 3rd.
Primal Rage comes out now. Just a mess on the point here, and now a EMP, 2 picks, 3 picks. Man, parity has been so good on the Monkey.
Not had to use it yet, so we're quickly approaching. There it is. That's a 3-man and an anti. I mean, that and a bomb. That's just fight over. You gotta be wary of that Death Blossom on the other side. And speaking of that Death Blossom, it's gonna.
Yeah, that's 3 picks so fast. Now 4 picks. 4 more to be mid. 5 picks. That's a team wipe for that game.
Feed Stacker pops the overclock, gets Kojo. Banana Shake falls shortly after him. Feed Stacker find another. Yes, they can. They find Daddy Dolphin and Andrew. This is just the Feed Stacker of the Preshow.
Really getting helpful, but the stick's gonna come in from Reborn.
Oh, and that's a really nice pick onto Lore. But Reborn just comes in and blows everything up. If they were reborn like a Phoenix, it was flying quite well on this Pharah.
And that's the ace for Reborn.
They need to get on 0.1 seconds. Doesn't even matter. And Fnatic are the winner of this tournament.
Pulls off some sort of miracle.
No miracle in sight. That is going to be it. Power Wash Pirates win your B-League season kickoff.
Hello everybody and welcome to BPL Season 5. What a hype video, I hope you guys are excited. Shout out Shush for that interesting video in the beginning. God, I'm pumped. And you heard pretty much all of us on that as well. Joined by Funky Monk. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm very giddy. I think that's the first time I've ever been used in any kind of advertising material. So that's cool.
That's really cool.
Great video too, like so well edited.
I'm gesturing to my other side now. I'm Gio as well. Hi Gio.
Hello, my agents will be in contact. I didn't hear my voice.
Okay, well, next time. We've got so much happening. I know that we have so many really talented graphics and video team staff that are working on Season 5. I peep into their channels all the time and they're always cooking something. So you'll have seen some graphics that went on Twitter today for this specific matchup, which I'll try and pull up in a second. And you'll see more things throughout the season. We've got a top 10 highlights video that are coming out maybe by the end of today. We'll see what happens. But welcome to Season 5. It's finally time to start the season properly. It's the regular season. We've had our kickoff tournament last weekend, and now comes the actual important stuff. Last week, we ran some wheels, and we decided our final groups. I don't have them in the same format, but I do have this. And so here are the standings, quote unquote, for the 2 groups of A-League, which is where we're starting today. So the first match we're watching is Amalgamation Crusaders, who are in Group 1, and then the second match will be Jinxed, Tuatha, Danann, which is a B-League team, which we'll also come to. So last week when we had the bracket that seeded these groups, so the teams that finish in similar places are on opposite sides of the bracket. So if we take a look at said bracket, we have Eye Candy and Frenetic, who are in the finals in separate groups. Unknowns and Snapdragon also in separate groups, and so on and so forth. But if we have a look at the teams that we're looking at today, Amalgamation Crusaders, Crusaders got their win, Amalgamation didn't take anything. So we don't really know a lot about either of these teams.
No, we don't. But we do know a little bit about a few of the players. Some of them are veterans of the BPL scene. Gavin the Slim has been on several different players, as you can see there. Used to be on Slasher Films for last season, I believe, and was the BPL champion in Season 1 for Team OTF, which I didn't know until I looked up the
B-League
player
champion
profile.
in OTF.
B-League champion, I
man.
see.
That's I completely forgot. Yeah,
It's a
that's
throwback.
From all the way from Team OTF to here in Season 5 on Amalgamation. And Crusaders, of course, we've got that laser, which is what the pre-show guests were talking about. Lasers has done a lot. We had a successful season on Frontier. Of course, didn't win the championship, but whenever we see Laser in the roster, we know something is going to be cooked.
Indeed.
Yeah, and lots of new faces as well. I'm excited for Pingu. Pingu's someone in the EU scene who is a very good DPS player, and I'm very excited to see what they're capable of in BPL. But like you say, against Laser, it's tough competition, and we really have no information on how these teams are going to really match up.
Yeah, not at all. Just want to highlight some of these beautiful graphics so you can see what's going to happen. Here's week 1 of A-League. Of course, we're starting with this Amalgamation Crusaders game, and that's the only game for today for A-League. Tomorrow, we got 7 and 10 o'clock. We've got A-League matches, and then the rest are on Sunday. With this beautiful color scheme, you can see all these matches will be kept up to date on Twitter as well. You can follow us at BPL_OW. And here's your B-League schedule for all those B-League heads out there. As we said, that second game will be our B-League game. First one of the season, kicking us off strong. And they'll also have more throughout the weekend. Make sure to have a peek, see if there's any of your favorite teams in here. And just to wrap us all out, of course, we wouldn't be complete without our C-League. C-League will be on separate streams throughout the season, pretty much. So we'll have 3 blocks of matches tomorrow on BPL 2, and a final match of Mirage versus Polyswag on Sunday. So, lots to get into as we properly start the season. We've heard a lot from the desk, and I'm trying to think of something I can segue into, because I'm just thinking, I'm sure we want to get this match started pretty soon. You know what I could ask you? How about some predictions? We've seen the rosters, we've seen how they've had pretty similar opening stages, but there's potentially a lot. And also, ignore this because it's going to show some other teams. It's fine, it's going, it's good. Let's get some predictions. Amalgamation versus Crusaders. This is going to be maybe a shot in the dark, but let me know what you think.
Bunky, do you want to go first?
I have the unfortunate curse of being on the left side, and this culture reads left to right, which is certainly something, so I guess I'll have to go first. So, as we all know, Amalgamation did get knocked out initially in that first round of the tournament, and Crusaders did manage to take a victory. But Amalgamation's victory was somewhat close. Numbani was like a 3-2 loss. And so I do think they have some potential here. But I gotta go with Crusaders, because, Laser cooks. Laser just cooks.
Fair enough. See, I have a brief short story, personal story. So I have been on a team since 2020. It's how I started scrimming in Overwatch, on a team called Couch Potatoes. And we've seen lots of different players come through and lots of different coaches, but the coach that's made the most impact is Luau. And Luau is a player that's been in BPL before, but Pingu is synonymous with Luau. Luau and Pingu have worked together for a while, and I know Pingu is very, very good, and I'm excited to see what Pingu is able to do in BPL, and for that reason, I gotta go for Amalgamation.
Very interesting. We got the background information that we so desperately need on these teams. Man, I don't usually do the Preds because I try. I have so many other things to think about, and I'm inevitably going to be wrong and curse them. So however, it is hard to say that Crusaders have a win.
Named after.
That's exactly. If in doubt, it's BP's fault. Crusaders have a win. Amalgamation do not have a win. Therefore, Crusaders going to take it home. It's just simple maths. Okay, that's what I'm predicting. That's how it's going to go. Let's take a quick look at the maps for today while I go press some buttons and leave you two to think about it.
Well, it seems I am outvoted there in terms of predictions. Oh, Funky.
I've been removed.
Back.
Okay. Oh, that's my Discord avatar. Hey, I'm here.
Okay. Yes.
I really should get that suit in real life.
Yes, you should hunt it down. Maybe get it custom made.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking about custom made, we've got a custom made spread of maps here. We know all the maps that we're going to be playing. Nepal into Dorado, into Queen Street, into Nimbani. If anything, this plays into a team that prefers to go for kind of fast, divey compositions, I think. Apart from Nepal, which you can get a lot done with, like a brawl composition. But of course, I'm very EU-brained, and obviously you are as well, so I don't know. I can't see outside of teams forcing brawl into everything.
I mean, you said fast dive, and again, like, I gotta sort of agree with you. But for Dorado specifically, because New Queen Street, you can run a litany of comps there, right? I'd even argue that the sort of classic Winston, you know, quote-unquote dive that we see with the Sombra Tracer, Kiri Lucio, is actually more of a rush comp simply because of how it plays. It doesn't really want to hold high ground. It doesn't want to set up its backline. It wants to go fast and hard. And while you can play it with the Winston, and in some aspects it is better to play it with the Winston, this is EU. We're going to be playing it with the Jungle Queen, I think, because it's just that little bit more brawly, Geo.
Well, we will find out. We've got a big mix of NA and EU players. We'll see how much of that EU chaos seeps in. I mean, one of these teams is literally called Amalgamation, right? So you're expecting something. But yes, it's the Crusaders of Order versus the chaos of the Amalgamation in our kickoff match of the regular season in Season 5. And boy, I'm excited. There's a spread of new players, a spread of you know, storied players, including a role star in the mix. Interflux was a Season 3 role star, so you're expecting them to really be that kind of spearhead of the team and kind of, you know, be that kind of veteran voice for, you know, those newer to BPL players.
Indeed. But, like, in terms of being a veteran voice, like, you don't really, I don't think you necessarily need it for a league specifically to just, it's a league, you know? It works basically the same as any other league, apart from the incredibly high production value, which we're able to pull off with the help of our wonderful web team.
I would also say, though, like, not a lot of other leagues do the auctions, right? And
that's
so,
true,
like,
yes.
You know, if you think about the kickoff, the bracket that went through, you know, those teams had only been with each other for a week before heading into that. Now they've had another week and they've had that experience. They'll have more time to, you know, find their footing, right? Because this is early going and there's a lot of arcs that are yet to start here. So we're really going to find where these teams are starting and where they're going to really kind of arc off to and really kind of flourish into what they were always supposed to be.
It is time for the first map of the regular season, and we're going all the way to Nepal. And I don't think they planned on adding another map based in Nepal, given that this is supposed to represent the entire country, and then they put in Shambhali Monastery.
Yeah, that is kind of something you just call a map in Nepal, and you kind of cover a little bit too much ground there, but hey ho, it will be kicking off here in Sanctum, inside the Sanctum proper. As you can see, both these teams starting off with two different ideas of compositions. Dare I talk about the compositions while they're in the spawn? I'm going to go for it anyway. Currently, it looks like we're seeing a much more kind of poke and brawl, kind of mid-range brawl from Crusaders here with the Ramadra comp and having that Hanzo, you can go in the off angle and such. Amalgamation though, Wisp is going to be going on to this Tracer and is going to be going for that very you know, storied dive with this Sombra. They just have to watch that they don't go in too deep here against the likes of the Ramadra and get burst down by the damage of the Hanzo from Nunez.
Interflux is just going to go straight into the backline. The hack onto the Baptiste, going to be enabling Pingu to get that final bit of damage in and secure the kill. Jubilina the first to fall. Elf, though, with Crusaders being able to just run on the backline, will take out Melon as well as Luma. That's really the main weakness against this Brawl comp, Geo, is that if you don't rotate your backline away fast enough, they're just going to get run over.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they utilize the speed from Futaba compared to the fact that you're running that Brigitte, Anna, that sturdy backline. You can just run onto them, and you saw Interflux struggling to chase around. It looked like Benny Hill, but with a bad ending for Benny Hill. Now, Amalgamation are going to have to really watch out for that and kind of be careful where they set up their backline.
I think he's going to be looking for a hack. Found one onto the Hanzo. Going to be looking for the kill, but Interflux has already been taken out here, so Amalgamation won't have the Winston to be able to follow up with. And again, Crusaders just able to walk on the backline and just kill everyone.
Yeah, they're not giving Amalgamation an inch, and by the time the Pingu can set up, it's taking just a little bit too long to get around that central gap, and it means at that time Amalgamation can take a 5v4 and win out. And not to mention Nunez finding those initial insta-kills with those arrows.
See, I like this from Crusaders. They've realized that they can just fight this room against the Brawl comp because that Maywall is so good at isolating those chokes. Both Ramatras are going to be trading out those Nemesis forms. Meanwhile, Wisp and Pingu perfectly content to just try to backcap there. Immortality Field is going to be forced, but Wisp still has the Pulse Bomb available, so could just chuck it on any squishy member of Crusaders who will end up flipping the point back. Futaba taking out their opposite number in the Lucio. Wisp going to find the Baptiste DMP coming out there, met by the sound barrier from Futaba, and Gap is going to gap into Flux with 2 pummel kills.
Yeah, Amalgamation are finding enough in here, even with that EMP, which is the core win condition of Amalgamation when it comes down to ult. It's why they're now swapping to try and match this, although they're kind of in a half-and-half situation where they still have this Tracer. That gives them that off angle, but they lack the lethality.
Window put straight down there from Jubilee. They want to trap Amalgamation in this room. The Maywall in a desperate attempt to try to kite away the damage, and it does work for them. They do have presence on this point, but Gap is running in with the Annihilation. He's already found Melon. He's going to find Loma as well. Going to try to be walled off there by Amalgamation. As such, the LOS will break and the ult will die. Interflux trying to pull it back with an ult of her own, but it just gets melted immediately.
Yeah, Crusaders are just storming into this map with a very strong point win there. However, as we were talking about, Nepal is the map that plays into that kind of brawl a lot more than some of the rest of the maps, including Dorado, which is up next. So you're getting this feeling that Amalgamation, they're coming in expecting to play the dive, expecting to play that play style where they're maybe haven't come up against a team that's, forcing this kind of Ramatra style, and it is very strong, particularly in mid-range. So even, once you're sped on and follow up on that damage, the damage has already been done up to that point, and, a Winston can only do so much against the storm arrows of a Hanzo, but both teams going for a mirror matchup here, probably looking to TP right onto point and take over.
Exactly. Instead, they're going to fight it out up top, though. Nemesis forms being traded for both teams, as well as the Maywalls, but Luma is going to be the first one to use the lamp. It's immediately taken out, and Futaba's going to clean them up with a kill. Gap, of course, going to find 2 in the meantime, 1 for each giant arm that Ramatra possesses.
Yes, those arms are giant, and when they're wrapped around you, you cannot breathe. You're being smothered, and that's what's happening to Amalgamation. They played the Sojourn and went for a bit more of a poke kind of style, but again, Crusaders, they recognize that, and with the Symmetra, they have even more of an upfront brawl. Amalgamation, they're taken to the skies, just saying, screw it, give me Pharah, and now that it's all about just spamming in, getting that damage, building barrage, and opening opportunities for the dive now.
Yeah, Crusaders really need to be rotating straight to point here, and that's exactly what they've done. They really want to try to limit the amount of space that the Pharah can see and the amount of angle she can take. So Pingu really has to commit here. He wants to try to secure a kill. Elfa's going to be antied, but I don't think Crusaders are going to be too worried about that. Hat goes out onto the Ramatra. Pingu going to be wide swinging here, but just not quite finding the 2 taps that he really needs to be. And it's going to be Elf the first to take out Luma there.
Yeah, it's difficult for Interflux, right? Because she can't find any really isolated characters. So if you're going to be engaging with the Winston, then you're going to get stuck and you need to be using that jump as an exit, and that just means you limit what you're capable of doing on the character, and that synergy of the Tracer is kind of lacking because of that. Now Amalgamation are going to be pushing onto a plethora of ultimates from Crusaders, including this window, which is just going to help secure the point. However, Nano's ready, Pingu's close to the barrage. That's Amalgamation's core way of taking control here.
Gaps antied here, and Amalgamation really tried to push off of that. Pulse Bomb sticks into the wall, only going to find the Immortality Field for Tuatha just in time with the sound barrier. He's going to try to save the life of Juvelina, but it doesn't work, unfortunately. But fortunately, Gap has traded out the flex support on Amalgamation. Elf killed mid-Blizzard cast, but it won't stop it from being effective. Crusaders ticking up to the high 90% here. Seems like they're going to take this 100-0, Gio.
It really does. And it looks like Crusaders are not stopping. They're shouting Deus Fault. They're right onto point. They're right in these fights, and there ain't nothing that can stop them. And right now, my prediction is looking not so good. I think you guys were right when you picked Crusaders, but of course, it's just the beginning.
I mean, I don't fault you for it, you know? I think Amalgamation definitely had the right idea in terms of playing just the hard meta composition, but I think there were maybe a few gaps in knowledge as to how to play it into that kind of brawl comp.
Yeah. That's definitely something they can work on, and here's foot about getting that boop onto the opposing Lucio. When you boop any character, you know, you feel good, but if you boop the opposing Lucio, you have created a dominance around your essence, and that's going to be lingering there ever onwards. Now, of course, it's the first to two, so it is technically match point already. However, with Dorado on the field next and a lot of high ground control there, perhaps now as Amalgamation's way of showcasing what they're capable of with those dive compositions. However, it's not unforeseen that Crusaders stick to their guns here and still play that Ramatra. You can definitely do it and play for high ground control of the likes of a Hanzo. Probably going to be switching the Mei. You can go for a flank character there, or you can go for, you know, another kind of mid-range character like an Ashe or something like that.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see Crusaders pull out the Sim TP brawl, you know, because that's normally the response of like brawl OTP teams to dive maps, is just like, okay, yeah, we can have verticality too. We can just teleport. We just teleport over to your backline, right? What's an anti-nade? We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
We got an immortality field. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's not like you can take angles on us or anything.
Anti-nade who? You know, it doesn't matter. Just put your shield up, duh. But
who's anti-nade, right. You know?
Yeah, where's Uncle Nade? No one ever talks about Uncle Nade.
No one ever talks about Uncle Nade. It's true. It's true. Wouldn't Uncle Nade be Cassidy's, like, sticky grenade?
Oh yeah,
like magnetic grenade.
That's like Uncle Nade, but no one talks about him.
Or would it be Baptiste? Yeah, Baptiste healing grenades. Could be Baptiste healing grenades, or it could be Bastion's. I think it's A36 tactical grenade. Somebody will have to, fact check me with the wiki on that. But could be any of those.
I call
grenades.
it the dodgeball. You know, I play.
That's a much better name.
Let us know in the chat what you think Uncle Nade refers to in Overwatch, and we'll get back to you. We have some swaps at the moment. Laser is being swapped out now for Elf. Strudel is changing out for Luma on the other side. That's Amalgamation. And then there's another swap in Crusaders, which is Crazy Cat coming in for Juvelina. Now, I like that. You know, you need to get your players in play and get everyone a chance, right? And with two substitutions down Crusaders, you're probably looking at a different composition, right? You're not changing your tank, so we're now going to see how flexible Gap can be. Gap is the only tank actually on that side anyway. But yeah, with two substitutions, it's going to be a different team because that's almost half the team, right?
Yeah, we've seen Gap's Ramatra, but will we be seeing Caps Winston here?
Yeah, can
they did win their last. They did win their last dive map. They won their last dive map. Well, they didn't. I guess last dive map is untrue because the last dive map they played was against the eventual B League winners. But they've won a dive map before now. So
they've won one of them. So they've won one.
They clearly probably know how to play dive. That'll be fine.
They clearly maybe did something right. They have a win. So perhaps
maybe not even Winston. Maybe Doomfist. You know.
Well, I used to be a Doomfist hater, but the respect I have for how much a Doomfist player needs to do to just get a base amount of existence, I think that respect is overwhelming, and I'm like, you know what? If you play Doomfist, then fair enough. You know, you
only
deserve
if you're like
the small
one trick
things you
Doomfist though. Only for like fully die-hard one trick Doomfist though, because like that's what you genuinely need to do in order to get those motes of value out of the character. You need to know every single Doomfist bug and where it triggers and how it triggers to just avoid it at all cost. Anyway, what were we talking about? We're going to Mexico. It's Dorado time, baby.
Dorado. Wait, you're telling me, Funky, that I can't just hop into a Doomfist parkour map and be the #1 Doomfist in the world?
I'm sorry that you had to find out this way.
Damn it.
I'm so sorry.
Now I need to change my Saturday evening. Anyway, we're heading to Mexico, Dorado. Perhaps we will spice it up with these substitutions. However, so far, Amalgamation are looking like a piñata, and it ain't candy inside. It's just a whole lot of eliminations for Crusaders.
Yeah. They're like a piñata, but instead of candy, it's internal organs, I guess. Maybe that's a little bit grim.
Jesus. See, I tried to pull it back from being gruesome, but you just doubled down.
Yeah, I just doubled down on it.
Yeah, Crusaders, they are actually showing us that different composition, and Laser, I guess, resisted the substitution. So they're still in. I guess the Uno reverse card there. Now playing the Echo. Echo's a very strong character. However, you're going to have to be very careful of Wisp, who I've heard is a very, very cracked DPS player on the likes of the Ash. So we'll find out. Pingu completely didn't get noticed there.
Yeah, Pingu was in the flutter spot, but hasn't really gotten to take advantage of it until now. Gap's at half HP. Big anti onto the backline, but Pingu's immediately forced to recall, but not before getting enough damage onto Laser so that Interflux can just walk forward and zap him to death.
Yeah, and that's what you're seeing now, as these teams both kind of almost mirror up here on these Winston dives. We're seeing which one has that speed about it. And right now, Amalgamation, they're maybe outpacing Crusaders a bit, but it does seem a little unsteady.
Yep, I think that's all they really needed, is just to find a pick anywhere, and they're going to find one into Interflux too as Laser gets that focusing beam in. Whisper's going to actually one-shot Nunez away from the backline, but it's going to take a lot of damage in the process as Laser puts down those sticky grenades. It's going to force a disengage for Amalgamation's backline as they have to now play in this sort of open market area.
Yeah, and it's very difficult for West to get a lot done while being spammed down, right? Because it's a lot of effort on their part to basically quell the effects of the Echo.
The gap's down, so, you know, Amalgamation, they can push forward, they can hold the space a little bit. Sure, the car is under the bridge now, but if they can hold the space well enough, it doesn't need to go any further, Gio.
That is true. That is true. You can definitely hold here. It's not the end of the world. However, Laser gets a lot more opportunities.
So, yeah, stick tossed straight in. Laser going straight for the Ash duplicate, but didn't find much value with it, unfortunately. It's going to be the Nano onto the Rallying Brig, and that's a Nano-boosted stun rally shield is going to be what sends Interflux to an early grave, and Nunez is going to find Strudel.
Yes, strudelled across the pavement there of the Rado, but Amalgamation, they have they held in for a decent amount, but 4 minutes on the timeout for Crusaders. That's not bad if they can keep it up. However, Laser gets caught out a bit. Now we're head to point 2 with that ever so massive high ground, and this is where Wisp can get a lot done. Oh, that was nasty. You can tell they've been in the Vaxter training range.
Yeah. I mean, like, the rest of them, I don't think Amalgamation even need a break. They can just have a Wisp sit in the backline, and that's all the threat that they need onto that Tracer, because my word, Wisp has just been hitting those so consistently. Interflux, meanwhile, is going to be taking a little bit of a nap in the backline while Pingu cleans up Crazy Cat. Futaba is going to try and edge themselves along that building, going to have to shield bash away back into their spawn. The rest of the Crusaders, unfortunately, have to retreat.
Oh, this high ground just faring Wisp so well. Now they're really showcasing their strength here on the team. And with Bob as well, they can contest that point from above. No one needs to really drop yet. Crazy Cat, however, is really building up that nano. And they'll be put onto Gap. And Gap will go in deep very shortly.
Speaking of going deep, Pingu's Pulse Bomb really was going for that early elimination, and I think it's a good place to put it, especially given that there's only one method of escape. You see Whiffs tossing out the Bob there, potentially to contest the cart. Gap is a little bit trapped on this high ground, as if Gap drops, the Bob is just going to be waiting for them, so they're going to have to pop the Primal even when antied in order to just sustain themselves through this fight. And Interflux, unfortunately, going down there to lasers. Viper, gonna find Pingu as well. Amalgamation, they've got odds for this next fight, but so do the Crusaders.
Yes, there's likely going to be a nano engage here from Interflux, but of course that's going to be traded out immediately. It's going to be basically who gets to trade those supports a little faster.
And Crusaders' backline is playing so split as well, so Interflux has to commit on one or the other, and Interflux just has to go for the cart, which is where the rallying brig is, unfortunately for them. So booped away it will be. Wisp going to find Futaba and Laser getting that dynamite kill onto Pingu. Going to find a second dynamite as well, looking for that extra burst damage. Gap is going to take out Wisp there. Just trading 1-for-1 at the moment, but the cart is millimeters away from capture. And Nunez going down might just turn this for Amalgamation.
Yeah, the backline of Amalgamation really kept themselves alive there and created the opportunity for Wisp and the likes to follow up there. And just in time, 0.23 there. Now 90 seconds remaining in Amalgamation. They're looking pretty decent here, and they're already coming up to the likes of Primal and Nano, which will really help them in contesting the point and countering the next pushes here. Crusaders, though, they're looking a little lackluster. This is likely to go into overtime here, just based off the ult alone.
Nunez caught out a little bit there by Strudel. That's going to delay Crusaders' push quite a bit.
Oof. Yeah, and you can see the patience on Amalgamation as well. They don't want to make too many mistakes, but Pingu is just raring to go with that Pulse Bomb.
Interflux goes straight in there, has the Primal Raise, so she doesn't really need to worry about taking too much damage, but Laser's going to find Pingu, and as such, there'll be no kind of dive follow-up for Amalgamation. Interflux going to go for the Primal in the backline, going to switch targets immediately, go for Crazy Cat, but has to go to the point as Futaba's just pushing it on through. Interflux I hear noises now. Everyone's been battling. And no overtime yet. It's in the dying seconds of the round. Oh, nobody touched. Oh, dearie me. That's rather a shame. Would have been nice if we were to know how Amalgamation did that, but sorry.
Let me narrate the fight that I think happened.
Go ahead.
So last we knew, right? Interflux was primaling, right?
Yeah.
I think Interflux primaled Crazy Cat.
I think Interflux ran out of Primal and got antied on like 200 HP right as we stopped.
Okay, then I retract my prediction.
I'm so sorry.
Here's some fish. Here's some apology fish. Yeah, get the FOV in.
Look at him.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Nice close.
Hopefully it doesn't freeze on this for the next round. That'd be rather unfortunate.
POV me casting when I don't have a feed. Just the decapitated head of a pinata in the middle of a road. Tells you so much. But anyway, Amalgamation have set themselves up for a lot of success here. Now, it's not unlikely the Crusaders can first hold, right? Because if I had a penny for every time I saw that on Dorado, I'd have a lot of pennies. TP again from Amalgamation, a similar kind of rotation to take that high ground and set your backline up here. Now that Wisp is on the attack and Laser starting out in Ashe, there's going to be a lot of eyes on what Wisp and Laser can get done in this kind of Ashe mirror and duel.
So Interflux used her bubble to make sure that a backline could cross over safely. It sort of means that Gap can play relatively aggressive and just kind of hold the cart up in that choke. Now it's going to be Nunez's job. Just try to dislodge Pingu from there. Fantastic anti-dynamite combination there. Melon. I mean, what can you do there? You can't even Inspire heal away the dynamite damage, and there's a Winston in your face zapping you away. Cap's going to go even more aggressive here. Got booped off the map by Futaba, who's going to get another kill onto Interflux there. I'm going to be genuinely honest. I thought Wisp coach gunned themselves off the map. I was very relieved to see that whip shot in the kill feed.
Yeah, that's another environmental kill for Futaba. Looks like whatever map they're on, they'll find a way. And you're so right. It was the synchronization of the dynamite nade engage. Maybe that's just what's different here. Maybe that team play is just that much tighter on the side of Crusaders. Now, Amalgamations went for D.Va. This is a slower rate of play, but that might really cause issues for their backline when that Winston Tracer is back there.
Oh, Laser's found Wisp as well. No more spam damage onto Crusaders. That means Gap can go as aggressive as they like, especially with this nano boost. Forces Interflux away. What would normally be a losing matchup for a Winston immediately becomes a winning one upon receiving nano boost, particularly into that D.Va.
A lot of patience from Gap there as well. Even when they had that nano, they didn't overextend. It's something I absolutely would have done and got flamed about in my comp games.
Same. Honestly, same. Strudel's going to get that anti-nade kill onto Laser as well. Stick comes out there from Nunez. Unfortunately, doesn't find anything but the mech of Interflux. Gap's just in the backline, going to go crazy with the primal, but unfortunately got antied on the way out. Burned to death, and the fate was sealed by Wisp. He wasn't able to quite find the headshot that time as Nunez finishes him off with the pulse pistols.
I'm sensing a very dangerous vibe from the attacking team of Amalgamation right now, and that's panic. You still have 90 seconds. There's no reason to, you know, kind of overall or anything. You've got this nano. You can sit pretty. Interflux almost got the mech back.
Yeah, put the nano boost onto Melon as well. Going to try and make the most of it with this rally, but this 10 seconds of value has to be crucial for them. And they're going to be knocked into the air by the Bob, forced to bash away. And Laser's going to find Pingu as well. So Crusaders looking very good in terms of holding this first point here, even though they have invested the Bob. And Futaba got antied and killed there with the rally available. News is going to be looking for that one clip. Amalgamation going to be pushing a little bit further.
These anti-nades are really forcing the play in a lot of these instances. Strudel forces to use theirs defensively. 40 seconds remaining.
What a stick onto Wisp. Nunez. So clutch there. Interflux is going to take out Gap, though. That D.Va swap really working out well for her. Crusaders rallying break on the point. Going to receive the nano boost as well. The raid boss is in the game, but Pingu does not care. Pingu is in your backline as Futaba tries to wrestle the point back from Amalgamation. There's nobody left to peel for the Crusaders, and Pingu runs riot.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with Pingu. You never know when you need that player to pop off, right? And in that moment, that happened. Interflux opened it up with that elimination onto Gap, and yeah, they have that advantage against the Winston in the core, damage output, and being able to peel. Now, they can really use this D.Va to take control of this high ground. It's going to be difficult, though, with Pingu needing to find their way onto that high ground themselves, and then pushing into Laser.
Oh, they're just going to go straight for the rally here, try and punish Cap's aggression, but Cap's just going to be able to pop that Primal Rage. Nanobu's going to be invested onto the Brig as well. They really like that combination there. keeps the brig sustained for a lot longer. Gap is looking pretty low there. Will they be able to find that final bit of damage? Gap just about able to escape there. It's going to be the backline in Amalgamation sights now. But Nunez finds the Tracer Diff onto Pingu and will halt the cart for now.
Yeah. Nunez has been on the cart a lot there and really forced Amalgamation to kind of spend all that energy and not get as much cart push as they wanted. Diva Bomb comes out. Doesn't find anything.
Doesn't find anything, no. Futaba had the shield available. Nunez, available now. By Pingu, the disrespect from this individual here. Laser gonna coach gun away from that incredible amount of damage sustained.
I can't even pulse bomb a Winston. I don't know how Pingu pulse bombed another Tracer. That was very strong. But yeah, Amalgamation, they're setting themselves up for a lot of success. The Bob here to take control of the high ground. They only need to get around this corner, Funky.
It takes control of the archway instead and sort of forces Crusaders to stay on that high ground lest they be beamed down by the Bob once they drop. Pingu is also going to fall there. And yep, Wisp's Bob finds Futaba after they were forced to drop away. Wisp also going to find Nunez with a cheeky little headshot. Gap finds Melon, but is it going to be enough as Wisp is going absolutely crazy, finds a third. Nano Boost having to be invested onto Laser to try and claw back this fight. Crazy Cat is going to take out Wisp, so that's the main damage threat dealt with. Laser reloading for most of that Nano Boost, unfortunately. Nunez going to look for that stick. Interflux 1 HP, gets demeched. Crusaders still holding.
30 seconds remaining. And you're definitely looking at a bit of a panic to get onto the point. Crusaders could destabilize the rotation here, but if Amalgamation get enough setup with both support ults ready, they can get a lot done because the supports of Crusaders, they've got nothing to sustain their team, and they've swapped to the Lucio.
Oh, this is huge.
Oh!
It's a big stick, straight onto Wisp. Is anyone going to be able to touch? Yes. Pingu is going to find it in the meantime, but of course Laser is there to land the perfect headshot onto Pingu. Is anybody going to touch? Hold on, the Crusaders, you're letting the cart go a little bit there. Gap is going to be able to jump back just in time, has the Primal Rage available to store it out for longer, but likely won't need it, as neither support is alive for Amalgamation. Going to pop it anyway in celebration, and Crusaders going to win the first game of the season.
They get their shields together and they hold in strong. They didn't get what they wanted on the attack, but that hold was extremely good. And when you're forcing your opposing tank Interflux to go onto the Diva and play a different style to what they're perhaps used to there. And yeah, look at this, just the aggression. That's this is the second play of the game. That's Futaba just knocking someone off the map.
Just the environmental kill king. What can we say? Is it too early? Is it too early to bestow titles like that? I don't think so. Maybe, maybe it'll be like a self-fulfilling title, you know?
Yeah. First impressions mean a lot, and this is the start of the regular season now, so we're starting to really see players kind of find their footing in the teams. And right now, Crusaders are looking a lot cleaner right now than they were perhaps in the playoffs. So maybe they're just going to get better week in, week out. Right now, they're looking very clean. Their synergy strong, but also they can rely on very pop-off players like Futaba and the likes of Laser. And here's some replays here of just Gap demolishing them as the rematch on Nepal. And they basically had no answer on Nepal. The rattle was very close and could have went either way if it was played again, but Nepal is definitely something where we saw the real strength of Crusaders.
Yes, certainly. And I think it's certainly a credit to Amalgamation to, you know, try and swap onto a comp that is maybe less favorable for Crusaders, making that adaptation towards the Diva.
Yeah. Absolutely. And also when you talk about the standings, you know, that's a clean win for Crusaders. So that's great for your map differential and all those stats that, you know, go into the standings. And obviously right now, I think that's the first match that finished because it was a 2-0 and it was pretty quick. But overall, a strong start for A group here. Group 1 in the A League. And you know, it's a difficult group because you do have Frenetic, the team that actually eventually won, and Unknowns who went the distance as well. So this is a tough group, but so far Crusaders showing that they're definitely capable. in their first matchup. And we're not giving MVPs, but I'm just going to say Furuba getting those dual eliminations off the maps. I gotta respect the support, the unsung heroes of every team. So I was gonna go for Furuba for my personal Geo's MVP, I'll say.
That's a perfectly valid approach to this. Of course, not an official MVP endorsed by BPL. No, I'm kidding. We have fun here. And speaking of fun, our next game is going to be a B-League game. It's going to be Jinxed versus... Gio, do you want to take the lead on this one?
All right, I wondered if you were going to go for it. It's going to be Jinxed versus Tuatha Danann. And that's my favorite branding of the B-League.
It's because only you can pronounce it.
I like the mythology, you know, a lot of Irish and Scottish stuff, sort of intermingle and get mixed because we have very close cultures together. But I gotta respect the Irish brethren. However, we'll be at that match after a short break, so go get a quick snack, go get a quick refreshment, but don't go anywhere for too long because we will have that B-League match for you. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Welcome back, everybody, to the first day of the BPL Season 5 group stage. We've just finished up Amalgamation versus Crusaders, and with us today we have Laser, who was the hitscan player on Crusaders for the duration of that last game. How you doing?
Pretty good, feeling good.
So, you were subbed in for the second map. Why keep you out of the first one? Is it just because of like the compositional difference, or is your hero pool more suited to that kind of divey map style?
We have determined so far that there are certain maps where we want to play Central and Elf because we might pivot to different compositions that to counter. So, for instance, if some teams play Pharah, we'll pivot to something that counters Pharah. And my hero pool is not the most diverse, as most of my teammates will have told you. So we try to spread our resources out, especially since we have me and Central, both two very good hitscan players, not to toot my own horn, but Central is also a very good hitscan. So we don't really have any pressure on rotating players in and out.
Nice. You know, we were talking about the synergy of the team so far, and you know, it's not that long ago that, you know, the draft happened. How have you guys been adapting since the kickoff tournament? And, you know, looking forward into the league, how's it been, you know, finding everyone's place in the team and getting the best out of everyone?
I think it's a lot of figuring out what each person is comfortable with doing. We have, I would say, the strongest sub rotation in the league in terms of drop off. I think that our subs are equally as good as our main roster. So it's a lot of figuring out whose niche fits where. For instance, on Dorado, we're going to run me and Central because a lot of the time Ash Tracer is a very strong composition, and that plays to our hero strengths. So it's a lot of figuring out who fits what puzzle pieces into what holes.
Yeah, nice. How are you feeling so far about your performance, and particularly the group that you're in? Is there any teams that you guys are concerned about in particular, or are you guys just focused on yourselves right now in terms of your kind of practice?
I think it's not as much concerned about as much as we're itching for a rematch. We obviously lost to Frenetic in round 2 of the opener, and we are looking for a little bit of a redemption arc if that is possible.
Nice.
That's rather fair enough. Speaking of future games, is there any map in the pool that you're just not quite confident on just about yet that you really need to work on?
I don't think there's really any. I think any team is going to eventually scrim all the maps and make themselves comfortable on those maps. And I think even if we were a little bit uncomfortable on one of the maps, I wouldn't want to make it public knowledge at this point because we still do have four teams left to play. That being said, I will make it my public opinion that I despise the map Numbani, and I don't really like most of the hybrids in the pool. So if you see me on hybrid, just know that I am there against my will.
Duly noted.
Well, do you have any personal shoutouts or callouts that you'd like to make while on stream?
No, I mean, other than my teammates doing exceptionally well today, shout out Elf for showing up before they left for a movie. I appreciate the one map that they were able to put in and win. So good performance from everyone.
Barbie or Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer, I think.
Okay. It's an Oppenheimer kind of guy. Okay.
Two types of players.
Yes.
Two types of players. Then you mix both. You know, when I think of seeing Barbie and Oppenheimer, I saw a tweet that was basically, here's the day. You start out with a cigar and a whiskey, and you go and see Oppenheimer. Then after Oppenheimer, you get brunch and mimosas. Then you go see Barbie, and then you go out for lunch. That's your day planned.
That's a lot of alcohol for the first 12 hours of the day.
That's a lot of day drinking.
Like I get, you know, we're British. I get it, but like that's a lot about like a whiskey and a cigar first thing in the morning. Like, are you all right? Is everything okay at home?
I mean, Tuatha Danann's up next. Maybe this is an Irish coffee. You know, you'll never know.
Could well be.
Anyway, thank you for joining us, Laser. It's good to hear about the team, and so far you guys are looking, quite good. And as you said, a redemption arc perhaps on the table, and that's something to look out for here in Group 1 of the A-League. Thanks for joining us, Laser.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And we will be back after a short break with that B-League game. So again, don't go anywhere, folks, long term, as we will have some B-League action for you right after this short break.
Probably really does want that shattered. Oh my goodness! What a boot by Wi-Fi, and Ziggy is gonna be the first to fall! Good diff. I'm still pushing hard. I can't help you guys right now. What are you doing?
Over to the Kiriko, and that's a really nice pick onto Lore. But Reborn just comes in and blows everything up. If they were reborn like a phoenix, it was flying quite well on this Mara.
Range from this Winston is really gonna be helpful, but the stick's gonna come in from Reborn! They're 4K! Go back to spawn!
Welcome back, everybody, to the first week of the BPL regular season. For Season 5, it's B-League time, baby, and we're going to be bringing you Jinxed versus... Gio, it's your time to shine.
Tuatha Danann. It's going to be a great clash here between these teams. My personal favorite branding of the B-League is Tuatha Danann. I enjoy it. I love that it goes for the mythology aspect. We're Jinxed. Well, I don't really know if they have a mythological background or if you know, it's just like the vibe.
DC's like the comic books are like a mythology to some people, right? It's basically a mythology. There's like a pantheon of main guys.
Yeah,
Jinx is like a minor goddess, you know. If we're extending this metaphor way longer than it needs to be extended for.
So you're saying this is like gods versus the gods?
I'm saying this is gods versus like a Teen Titans villain.
Okay, right. Well, in that case, my prediction is
a Magic Teen Titans villain. A Magic Teen Titans villain, to be fair.
Okay. Jinx did a little better in their bracket. When I say a little better, they got a map. Where Tuatha Danann didn't quite. So, yeah, you're not looking at maybe the front runners of the B League here, but you're maybe, you know, perhaps those kind of teams who struggle to quickly get a grip with their roster, and maybe they need to go on their kind of like training arc where they're at the kind of bottom of the hill right now, and they need to climb those stairs and get through the doors of the monastery. That's right, I'm referencing Kung Fu Panda. Jinxed have a very strong roster here. Unfortunately, Bakura, their tank, can't make it today. So the player Swanky Pants is coming into ring. I knew I was going to laugh when I said that, sorry. But yeah, Biscuit, Evenstar, and Baka. Biscuit and Baka sound so fun to say as a support duo, so I hope they kind of come in early as a support duo.
I mean, I think Evenstar might rain on your parade a little bit there.
Yeah.
If they're played, do you reckon they'll just put in Biscuit and Bucket just to make you happy?
I don't know. I've already said that my favorite is the other team, so I don't think I'm in good graces with Jinx right now. Talking about Tuatha Danann, the folk of Xanu, it looks like Dawes is going to be the solo tank there. Bunny and Hayun Target going to be the mix of the DPS, but then you've got some well-known names there on the support lineup, like Fungin 4 and Hip and Sauce. Particularly Fungin being a season 3 role star, so you have that kind of top level player in your roster that's going to really help you. Bakura is also a season 3 role star, but of course Bakura unfortunately couldn't make it today.
Big sad. Can we get a F in the chat for Bakura? I mean, can we? Like, is that a possibility? Can we do that as casters?
It's making me want some Indian takeaway. Just change one letter and you've got it. Anyway, Bakura aside, we're going to Lijiang Tower, which isn't in India, it's in China. So it's going to be a Chinese start here for these teams. As we're starting out on Night Garden, and there's two ideas of playing Night Garden. There's not TPing onto point, and there's TPing onto point. So far, I don't really want to talk about the compositions yet because this looks like bait, but if Jinx run with this, then they're going to have that kind of hybrid composition where they can kind of contest point, but they also have that aerial control for the core of the map. Tuatha, yeah, they're playing more overall brawl and will probably want to secure the point and play from there.
Yeah, the real win condition for Tuatha is not being able to peek Bunny, and Evenstar didn't quite get the message there. Knocked off the map nice and early, but Swanky Pants is going to make a name for themselves. Brought up for the C League and is going to find the first kill for Tuatha on to Turgid, but Dawes is going to punish that over-aggression with a melee to the face, and Bunny is going to take all this space on the point and cap it for Jinxed.
Can we get an F in the chat for production here, swapping the teams on the scoreboard there? I got extremely confused.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, so did I, you know?
Yeah, you just gotta roll with it at certain points, right? There we
Imagine
go.
looking at the team sheet, couldn't be me.
It wouldn't be me. But yeah, so far Tuatha taking to the sky already, 70-80% towards the barrage.
Oh wow, Turgid just got completely caught out there, and that's really the upside of having that Sombra available to you, is you can just assassinate a Tracer, and Hudson gonna find Bunny there as well, rezzed up by Fungin. He's gonna be trying to stall at this point for as long as they can. It doesn't really work out too well for them.
Yeah, it's all blue in the kill feed. Jinx with a very quick dive, and that's what you get with this Sombra. You get the scout for the dive, and of course the immediate follow-up as you hack them. You've got your monkey jumping in, and that's just a sandwich of pain. Tuatha are going to really struggle to get their front line through here. That Orisa is a very immobile character and struggles to really follow up when those dives are happening.
Ooh! That's a little bit awkward. Dawes not quite being able to get the value out of the Terror Surge. Oh, and just again, a little bit of a shame. The Javelin not quite finding the Cassidy before the High Noon was able to be triggered and Bunny taken out of the sky. Tuatha not really having a good time here.
Yeah, they're being forced out, and I think a lot of it's down to this Orisa choice, which I imagine has to be swapped at some point here. Yeah, they're going to go for a Junker Queen. Okay, well, Junker Queen can get through a little easier than the Orisa. You know yourself, as a Junker Queen player, EMP comes out.
Recall dodge there from Turgid, commanding shout in as well for Tuatha, but unfortunately doesn't quite save Fungin. Bunny's going to find Swanky Pants though, got a little bit too aggressive into a comp that is ostensibly anti-Winston. Kitsune Rush out there from 4 as well, but they can't play in that area for long as there's a point that needs capping, Geo.
Yes, it does. It was 70% in Jinx's favor. You do really want to get it going here if you're Tuatha, but they're still struggling to secure it.
They found Hudson though, so no real pressure onto the Tracer. Target can just run in the backline as much as they like, but they're not going to be able to, as 4's been taken out. Dawn just desperately trying to claw back a kill and manages to find one onto Evenstar.
Yeah, this is a fight for the ages here, and it's went all the way up to the high percentile. Tuatha still struggling to just get these finishes. It's slow and steady for them. But still, Swanky Panks finding eliminations, but I think finally Tuatha will get this one taken control of. And they're coming up to some good ults as well. Mainly that beat for Former's upcoming EMP. It's going to be very important for Fungin to not get EMP'd, to get that beat down so that Jinx doesn't get the follow-up that they're wanting from their big win condition out here.
I'm liking this rush angle. Big EMP there, hits 3 separate members, and the Rampage is going to come in from doors, though, to clap back for it, and Bunny's going to find 2 with the Death Blossom.
Yeah, just because it's a cute name, don't just think, it's fine. They're coming up there with an amazing Blossom. Now Target sneaky in the back, looking for a pulse bomb. If they get anyone with this could be devastating for Jinxed.
Oh, it's going to go straight on the floor, and back and not quite able to roll right away from it. Good enough. Svenstar going to go for the Coalescence. Just trying to find anything, and they're going to find doors with it. As Swanky Pants finds the final blow with Gracie's knife. Jinxed falling one by one. It was Tuatha falling one by one. I'm just still confused after that first fight, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, Jinx are failing them one by one, you could say.
Yes.
As the temper of Tuatha 3 comes down, and you're seeing Jinx play very well coordinated, considering the fact that their tank is a ringer, and that's a very tough position to have a ringer in. They're still getting that synergistic playstyle with the likes of Former, who I'm not quite sure who on the roster Former is. Akasha. Former is Akasha. Okay. So Akasha and Swanky Pants, despite the fact that Swanky's not the main tank, they're getting a lot of coordination. Tuatha are playing a very particular playstyle right now, and obviously it must play into their strengths here, but getting the value with the Orisa is very difficult when they're just diving right past you and demolishing that backline. That's why you've got the Kiriko, but even then, there's limits to what a Kiriko can do.
I mean, Dawes is just going to roll straight into Evenstar. And the Ana and the Lucio are completely split away from each other, but Tuatha doesn't really seem to notice nor care. They're going to be forced back onto the bridge. It's going to be the Tracer 1v1 now taken by Hudson. Ooh, not quite able to get the kill there. Going to find the final blow onto Fungin, however, as Tuatha's Pharmacy gets a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, that's the issue there, when you have this Orisa, you can't deal with these angles as well. And even when you're on point, Dawes is going to get torn down. Bunny and Fungin are just not finding quite what they want here with this farm Mercy, and the reason why is because Jinx have such a mobile composition that only really Evenstar is like the slow kind of weak link when it comes to mobility, but with the speed of Baka, that's kind of nullified, and that's why Bunny's now swapped onto the Reaper. This is to really try and counteract Swanky Pants going in hard and getting too much value. Let's see how much it works out for them, though.
Yeah, I like this from Tuatha. They're making the swaps earlier, which tends to favor them in the long run. Commanding Shout used there after the anti-nade was received. Packed out 1 HP, but the stick! Oh my word, the stick! Turget finding 3. Absolutely filthy. Swanky Pants just about receiving the nano in time to take out Doors, but it's going to be Turget to find a 3rd, 4th. Not quite a 5th, unfortunately, as Bunny steals that last one.
Target on target, beautiful free K followed up with a 4th. It's exactly what you need in a player to be able to snap, turn things around. And with this composition now being a very, kind of death ball Junker Queen composition, it's very hard for Swanky Pants to find follow up. But of course, the EMP coming out now.
That's fantastic EMP. Your EMP, kill 1 target, and Turget was just in the wrong place at the wrong time there. The dive comes in thick and fast from Jinxed. They found 3 players now. It's just Doors and Fungin remaining. The stick goes out onto Doors as well. Just removes that health pool. Just not quite enough on the Lucio, unfortunately.
Yeah, Hudson taking control again. These Tracers are really showing their strengths here for both teams. Tuatha will be coming in with a Coalescence, a Blossom, and a Rampage. River Baka will be able to beat this and try and sustain Jinxed through the upcoming essential barrage of ultimates that Tuatha can utilize to try and get control of the point here. They need it or they will lose here in Lijiang.
Like the Coalescence engage, that anti's not going to be able to slow them down. Fungin finding the 1st kill, but followed up there by a kill from Swanky Pants. Death Bottom comes in, but it's only going to meet a sound barrier. Swanky Pants finds a 2nd, going to go crazy with the Primal, going to try to find Doors. It's such a big health boot, will try to chunk down with the tiny little monkey paws. I'm not even sure, that wasn't even a coherent metaphor. They're not even paws, the big hands. The big old monkey hands. Big old scientist hands.
Take my strong hand. Take my strong hand. So far, Former is really just getting those EMPs when they need it. 95% on the board. Former's going to have this EMP to really clamp down on Tuatha. It's going to be very difficult for them to get anything done here.
Oh dear, that's not really what you want to see. And straight into a Kitsune rush as well, that Rampage. Doors not able to even get that self-heal. And it's just melted by Hudson's pulse pistols. Of course, Tuatha have to invest the sound barrier here, but 4's going to be cleanly dispatched, and Fungin not long after.
Yeah, Jinxed really proving that whoever I say I prefer, I curse them. So I'm going to stop saying that for the sake of all teams. But I mean, so far, Jinx just have that kind of different level of synergy. Let's watch this again. Massive pulse bomb. Oh, it's beautiful. It's art. It should be in a museum.
Okay, calm down, Indiana Jones. All right.
Hey, no spoilers. I haven't seen the latest one. Not that I was ever.
I mean, I haven't either. Not many people did, apparently. It was a real disappointment for them at the box office.
I mean, that's right. I mean, what do you expect after the anyway? Different conversation, different broadcast. But yeah,
anyway,
Overwatch. Yeah, Jinx just have that dive composition down to a T. They're utilizing the Scout of the Somber perfectly. And, a lot of that is down to Akasha on the account of Former, right? And look at this. Hat comes out as the jump's coming out. That's a lot down to the Somber communicating. And that's really where you get those different levels of play when you go for that Somber composition. So right now, I'm really impressed by Jinxed, and they're looking stronger than what their record would show in the kickoff tournament. So perhaps they just got a little unfortunate and either adapting slowly, or just the competition was a little higher than they were expecting there. Tuatha, on the other hand, they definitely have the vibe of a team that's feeling things out. Having this Orisa, it's not your normal it's not your normal choice. But obviously, you want to play into your player strength, and if that's what Dawes wants to play, then that's what Dawes wants to play. But I think playing it with the Pharah Mercy basically creates too much space for the opponents if they're playing a dive to just ignore the Orisa, ignore the Pharah Mercy, and delete the backline. And by the time that you get anything done with the Pharah, it's not enough. And that's basically what happened there on Lijiang.
Yeah, we have seen comps similar to this before, particularly Norway in the group stage of the World Cup would pull out an Orisa, Echo, Mei, Kiri, Mercy thing, and it confused a lot of people, but it worked really well for them. Frankly, mostly because of how cracked Onigod is at Mei, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But like, even with that variation, you still had the Mei. Like, even with that variation, you still had the Mei, you still had the Echo, and the Echo's a lot more self-sustaining, and you can really, like, flip-flop back and forth between, okay, we want to have the Echo be more aggressive, so we're going to play the Mercy, or we want to have the brawly core be more aggressive, so we're going to play perhaps a Lucio and really go for that kind of brawl 1v1 and wall off the tank and just mess with them. Bullying. That's the tank bullying comp.
The brawling. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that sentiment, and you know, trying to pick around the Orisa rather than what it kind of, like. Obviously, they thought about it. I'm not saying they haven't, but it did just kind of look like a composition with Orisa put there, rather than say a wrecking ball or a diva or a monkey, something with mobility that can follow up on the damage of the Pharah composition, or something that can peel for the backline, or you know, something that's annoying. Even a Doomfist, yes.
That's the second time I've mentioned Doomfist today. I think I might have a slight problem. I saw it played like once on Numbani. It's just been stuck in my head ever since.
You need to see someone about that.
I do.
Out.
Yeah, I don't even play Doomfist. It's literally one of my worst tanks.
Yeah, Doomfist is a character I just never touch. And if I do touch it, it's because someone on my team is flaming me in quick play. So not that I throw, I just prove to them that quick play is quick play, and stop treating it like comp, goddammit. Anyway, I could write about that for an hour. Dorado, we're going back to here, and we saw that Dorado was held on second point and was kind of close there in the A-League match between the side of Amalgamation and... Oh no. The Crusaders. I caught it. My brain fell out, but I caught it. Lovely moon there with Horizon Lunar Colony. A map that does exist still, but is the wrong type of map because it's not in the game anymore. But yeah, we want to see the Orisa become less like a Pinata and more like a Sting Yatta. Boom. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry. That's not going in the reel.
Yes, it is. It is now.
No.
I'm taking over the editing process.
No. Dawes is currently teasing the monkey here, the Winton. And I prefer this. Bunny on the Echo. I do like the Echo. Still a very strong character. Very quick, like you said, self-sustaining in a way as well. Let's see what they're capable of. And again, the same TP setup that we've seen before for the backline, but it's actually not the monkey staying with them, fighting for that central red building.
Ooh. Fought a little bit too hard, I think. Just about able to get away in time, and they had to use the bubble for it as well. Jinx do have, I think, slightly more pressure onto the Winston, especially with that Ana available, but that biotic grenade, I mean, can you ask for more from your flex supports than a biotic grenade onto two supports tucked into a corner as you fly through the air, playing the scientist and zapping them to death?
Yeah, that Fungin 4 backline looking real strong right now on the attack for Tuatha, and they have control of this point right now. Jinxed, they need to get something set up here on their recontest and basically try and nullify Bunny's output.
Was gonna get hacked and pressured away there. He's Gonna recoup health relatively quickly for outpacing Even Star on the nano boost percentage because of it. And Hudson just a little bit caught out there. Probably didn't expect Doors to be so deep in their backline, and it's gonna be Jinxed trying to trade it back. Swanky Pants maybe going a little too deep. The focusing beam from Bunny almost claims the life. And yet another fantastic nade from 4 is going to set up this dive from Doors. The backline falls yet again for Jinxed. And Tuatha, they're going to roll through with almost 5 minutes on the time bank.
Oz is looking so clean on the Winston, which begs the question, what was happening on Li Jiang? I don't want to like harp on it too much, but Dawes is showing that they can be a very strong a dive Winston here, as opposed to whatever Winston, I don't know. Farmer though, set up here in the back line, giving them scout out, and knowing where that Echo is, going for the hack, follow up.
Yeah. I like the Echo as a dive target, especially when you have the Sombra available. The main threat for the Echo is the ability to fly away, but when you hack an Echo, she has no verticality whatsoever. Hack is going to go out onto Doors, and I think just going to be quite content to trap Jinxed's backline in their room, but Swanky Pants is doing more than his fair share of work, taking out the backline of Tuatha de Danann and Doors. Sorry, almost confused him for a movie shark.
Yes, you don't want to be doing that. The Meg, right? No. So
of course,
Jinx have a full stack of ultimates here, and basically if they're smart enough and they rotate it, they can really burn a lot of time. And you know that EMP is going to come out first onto nobody.
Formers, this is the second time Former's gone for an EMP trying to solo kill Hudson, and it hasn't really worked out. Yep, Former's going for same difference as they use the manual hack to secure the kill onto Turget. Instant copy is going to come through from Bunny, trying to clear out the high grounds for Tuatha, but doesn't quite work out in their favor. But it does allow Fungin to rotate through and pop the rally and try and push the backline forward. Nano Boost goes out onto the rallying Brigitte of Baka, and it does really well to keep them sustained through that biotic grenade that can often be so threatening to that backline.
Absolutely, they've drained the defense of a lot of those ultimates so far, and Tuatha, they're still moving. They're almost securing this one. They're coming up to a Nano. Pulse bomb out. Doesn't find anything.
Swanky Pants gonna try and find this last kill. Oh, Hudson just about able to catch 4 when they thought they were safe in the cover of the car. Hudson gonna find Fungin as well. And Jinxed are gonna mount their defense here.
And that's the same place we saw the cart stop in the last game. Are we going to see a repeat of that? Or with the 2 minutes that Tuatha have, they don't need to rush. Like I said, 4, she's coming up to that nano boost, and that's going to help Dawes get in nice and deep. Just have to avoid getting slept up and basically nullifying the entire thing. Oh, Former got caught out there, but EMP's coming up, and they're probably saying, let's not solo EMP a Tracer this time. Let's try and get someone who can't evade.
Nope, they're going to solo EMP a Tracer. And to be fair, that time, Swanky Pants, you know, I really like this coordination between the Sombra and the Winston here, because you really have that split-second timing in order to assassinate a Tracer like that, and it's worked out for Jinxed really well so far. Even the nano boost onto Doors isn't going to find anything. Swanky Pants is just going to pop the Primal Rage. He's going to find 4, even with Fungin alive, presumably. Yes, not quite able to find the pack in time, it seems, and Doors is going to be pressured perhaps into using their Primal Rage, given how low HP they are.
At what point do we have to ask, do Target and Former have a history? Oh yeah, that's tough. Do Target and Former have a history? Is there something there? Is there a reason why Former is just cyberbullying Target, or at least attempting to? Because it's not a normal setup that you see a lot of times, because it's so risky. But what won't be risky is the fact that Evenstar's going to have their nano for this fight, and that's going to allow Swanky Panks to go nice and deep into the backline. Fungin's going to have to utilize that rally to keep the backline alive. And of course, eyes on who Bunny goes for the dupe.
I will be honest, given that 3k pulse bomb last game, it's no wonder that they want to get out of these fights, but it's going to be Bunny, the first one they find, and the duplicate as well, so that won't be available for Tuatha in this fight. Hack goes out onto Doors as well, just going to try and farm EMP off of it.
Oh,
Gonna be
very
Hudson
close.
Headshots.
Yeah. Even Star holding in the trigger there. And they're in a bit of a compromised position for the defense.
Oh, well, they've traded out one Winston for another, it seems. Bunny only has 300 health and is taking a little bit of a nap, as is Swanky Pants. It's just sleeping gorillas all over the shop. 5 seconds to go on the clock, and Tuatha still really haven't found much quite yet.
Payload.
They are forcing point, though.
The EMP comes up. That time, not a solo one onto Tracer, but onto the remaining players. This cart's gonna stop right at the same place that we saw on point. Sorry, in game match 1 in the A-League. Is something broken in Dorado, or is it just what's in the BPL waters right now?
I think it's just the way the map works, to be honest, Gio. Like, that last section of the map is, and I do not say this slightly, so obnoxious to play into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just not fun as an attacker, because even somehow if you're playing Winston and you've managed to trap the enemy supports into that mega room so that they have literally no line of sight on the enemy Winston's still going to kill your backline anyway. For somehow, some way, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I dare say it's cursed. I dare say it's cursed.
Yeah, it's a little cursed, and there's a little decapitated head there again. Don't know why,
Maybe that's
but
why it's cursed.
That's it. That's the head. Wait,
Maybe it
but
is.
the last time we saw that, the team were able to
Correlation
hold
totally equates to causation.
Yeah, absolutely. I see one thing that's the same, and I'm like, it's the same.
Yeah.
They're the same picture.
That's totally how that works. I see no flaws in this logic.
Anyway, what is that?
That's the other half.
That's just roadkill. Thank you, observers. Yeah, now we're going to see Tuatha Danann on their defense. Similar setup here, Bunny this time on the Ash. So we're going to see what Bunny can get done there. The Echo did kind of start to struggle there because, you know, you're the only one flying in the sky there, and you kind of get forced out. Former now on the Echo as well. And same setup. Shots fired, some landed.
Yeah, same setup, same pressure onto Swanky Pants. Can't quite take the high ground in time. Good evasion of the dynamite there. Bunny didn't quite land it in the spot that she wanted to, I don't think. They keep outputting this poke damage. Yeah.
Poke and prodding. Bunny still getting a lot of pressure though. Has forced some back. Formers went on to Genji actually. So gonna go for a bit more of an all-in playstyle there as Dawes finds Evenstar.
Yep. I think that was a dynamite anti-nade combo going on there, but Tuatha, they do lose their tank for it, so not really able to hold the space that they otherwise would have taken with those picks.
Yeah, going for the trade. Dawes will be back shortly, but you've given up this first portion of point 1. How much was it worth it? Well, we'll find out as we get to this defense. And Former not on the Echo there, so it's going to be harder for Bunny to focus them, but also it's going to be a lot harder for Former to get values as you see them on the flank there.
Back has been antied. Won't quite result in a kill just yet. Baka is holding on to their dear life. Speaking of Bunny, going to retreat back to that mini health pack doors. Not quite able to find the kill. Turget 1 HP in the backline, and the health pack's been completely taken, but Ford's going to find Former. By saying that 5 times fast. Bunny primaled into a corner, able to evade it with the, I think, a very clever coach gun just to take us straight up into the air.
And Jinx is going to find that backline, and 4 had that nano. So that's pretty much cemented it right now for Jinx on their attack. They're just cleaning up.
Yeah, I think, is that a bob there from Bunny? I do believe it is. Target is going to find Swanky Pants as well. Going to go for the stick as well. It finds Evenstar and Hudson, who might not have been in the right place there.
Oh no, we don't like to see that. Swanky Pants got swanked out of the lobby there. But, I mean, with that double pulse bomb, it's possible that they can hold on. I mean, the fact that their tank got yeeted into the void also helps. So, this might be a situation where Tuatha holds on, but unfortunately, because of that disconnect, I feel like there's going to be like discussions about whether that fight would have went either way or which, unfortunately.
That's fair. And yet another demonstration of why you solo EMP Turgot, because if Turgot doesn't know there's if Turgot knows there isn't a Sombra in the lobby, Turgot's gonna kill your backline. It's just what's gonna happen. Yet again.
Like a tiger in the grass. They just hide. They wait for their moment to strike, and then when they do, it's vicious and it's efficient. Let's see if Turgot can be continuing to champion this. It's actually a Nano on Former.
Yep. The Nano ran out immediately as Former pulled the blade, but is going to clean up with it nonetheless, finding Bunny and 4. Swanky Pants is over on the Doomfist, really desperately trying to hold on to this. Got that Dante skin from not even any season of... no, last season. Yes, Turgot's going to find 4. Just forgot that Dante was on the Houston Outlaws for a moment, I'm not going to lie.
Very nice of Swanky Pants to complete the Doomfist arc of story that we've been talking about. But again, with a minute remaining, that was obviously chosen to get the touch. How much value is it going to get?
Well, considering they're hacked and there's a, electric Winston flying towards them, not all that much as Swanky Pants gets sent back to Jinxed spawn room. And Tuatha looking very healthy on this defense, but a minute remaining for Jinxed to make a move.
Yeah, it's not without chance here. They've swapped back onto the Scientist here, looking for those dives yet again. Tuatha, they don't have those support ults, so there's an opportunity as Bunny goes down.
Yeah. Hacked away, so no translocator available. Engaged there. Oh, it stuck the shields, but Fungin still just about managed to die to it. A chink in the armor, not quite able to sustain themselves through it, and Hudson, of course, is going to clean up 4 as well. No supports means that Doors isn't long for this world. Bunny's going to try and stall it out, but it's not going to work out too well for her as Hudson hunts them down, and Baka finding Turgets will seal this point for Jinxed.
Yes, and with 2 minutes 30 on the time bank, all the odds are going to be basically on how Jinxed are able to nullify this massive high ground that we've been talking about with the Rado and how difficult it is to push in. Now, this is the least time bank we've seen rolling into second point, and we haven't yet seen second point be secured. So the writing is not looking good on the wall of Jinxed.
See, it looks like Jinxed are gonna try to pull off the same thing that they did to Tuatha De Danann last round. Hasn't quite worked out for them, but it's gonna find Hudson though. So it's their turn to execute the Tracer dives with the Sombra. EMP activated as well. Doors can't pop the Primal Rage in that state, and is just gonna get beamed down by Former. And is rather displeased with that turn of events.
Some chatter in the match chat. A 3-man anti, but no follow-up there. EMP's ready from Bunny, but they have to watch it, they don't get caught out like that. That was very close. This EMP is something that they're definitely looking for in the defense to regain control of the high ground.
Oh! Former's found Turgot yet again. Bunny walking forward with her Winston, goes for the EMP, it hits 3. But is there any follow-up available? Doors is going to hit the Primal Rage, but Evenstar hits the Sleep. Tuatha, they've gone into this fight with 5 ultimates. They've used 3 of them so far. Now 4, as 4 even gets killed by Hudson. And the Pulse Bomb ends up on Fungin. They use 4 ultimates in that fight. Turgot's going to use the 5th. It's going to go completely awry for them. Jinxed! I've come up against incredible odds here.
And they secure Dorado as they cement themselves a team to watch out for here in the B League. And despite the fact that their tank was yeeted out of existence during one of the fights, they hold in strong. I believe this will be during that pause. Pause happened here. And so that's interesting. The pause actually happened halfway through play of the game.
You can't tell though. It's completely seamless. I imagine that's how like people in like time pause shows feel, like between pauses.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
you
just-
like
it
in the
just- time
flash
goes
or
on, you know?
whatever, when someone's going super fast, that's basically how they experience it. It's seamless. But nonetheless, Jinxed are able to secure it there against Tuatha, as we yet again never see point 3 of the Rado. But Jinxed, they were looking very synergistic with those EMPs and with those hacks. Sure, it got a little cookie with the solo EMPs onto the Tracer, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It was working for them throughout. It was a competitive matchup, but still, I think Tuatha kind of stuck to their guns too much on the Orisa composition there, and that's definitely something that's in the oven and still needs a bit of time to cook.
Yeah, I do think they want to lean more heavily into this Winston composition. It's just, I think, a bit unfortunate for them that Former happened to be on the enemy team and had literally zero compunction about solo EMPing Tracers.
Yeah, no, that's not
even when it didn't
normally
work twice. Like,
yeah. I mean, there was the one
that's impressive
EMP,
commitment.
There was the EMP that didn't hit, and then it was the hack follow-up that did. But yeah, when you're talking about, playing into like the meta, it does look like Tuatha, they definitely have some steps to practice the composition in terms of that synergistic playstyle between the Echo, the Sombra, and the Winston. It seems like that's what Jinxed really have down, and it ain't easy, right? We talk about it like it's easy, and it's a difficult composition. It's very complex, and there's a lot of pressure on the Sombra to not get forced out and to be able to get the scout and still follow up. So it's difficult for a lot of teams to adapt to, especially if you've only been together for like a handful of weeks, which is the case for these teams. But so far, I'm impressed with Jinxed, and it looks like that my Jinx is whoever I say I like get too old.
Well, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's whoever I say I like. It's the duo. Who knows? Both of them are equally likely.
Yes. You know what? For you, I hope it's you that just saying whoever the team you like wins, and I'm not stuck with a curse.
But my pick'ems are a completely different story. But we don't talk about those. We don't. Well, we leave them in the past.
Well, we will get to have an interview here with some of the triumphant players, as Swanky and Former are going to come in, and that is the Winston Sombra. Hello, folks, and congrats on the win.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, so just want to say that DC was not planned. Like low key for like the past 2 weeks, it's been happening. Like right now it's 7:49. It's been happening around like 7:30. So I was like, oh my god, I'm fine. And then I primal kill the Ana, and then I just walk into a wall, and I'm like screaming P, typing P. I was about to call Hudson and just scream P at him, but nah, it was too late.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. So, my first question here is just sort of for both of you. How difficult did you find coordinating those solo EMP dives onto the Tracer? Because we noticed them. You were very committed to killing Turget 9 times out of 10. I just want to know the thought process, honestly.
Well, see, the thing is, in Sombra Tracer, the only character doing damage on the enemy team is the Tracer. So if you EMP her and get her out of the fight, they don't do anything. And they have to play to set up again for the next minute. So that's the thought process behind that. In terms of coordinating it isn't really that hard, because I just press one button and Coop jumps the Tracer and she just dies.
Yeah,
so
it's literally just, he just says, I want to EMP Tracer. I'm like, okay, I'm set up, go for it. And then he's going to 3, 2, 1 at 2, I'm jumping in, and then he just explodes, gets incinerated, wiped off the face of the map.
I will say that Target was a little annoying sometimes because he'd like randomly walk out of my EMP or like recall for whatever reason. That's like the only tracer I've ever had like problem doing that with. I think I missed a couple on him, like one or two.
You did. I know you missed one on Leash on Night Market.
It hurt a little bit.
I missed it. I was like, oh, what the hell?
We
I think you had one Dorado.
We definitely didn't catch that in 4K. Definitely not.
Oh, great. Yeah.
It was like 1080p instead.
But a question I have is, Swanky, you were ringing today, right?
Yeah.
So you still had a lot of that synergy play in terms of the communication with the team when you're setting up those dives and those EMPs, etc. What's the kind of structure look like in the team?
So it's a little unfair because, so I don't know if you guys know this, but Jinxed and Hex, they're part of the Banana Bandits organization or something like that, named after Banana Shake, I think. I don't know. Anyway, so basically Jinxed is the sister team. That's where they're like, hey, do you want to ring? And I'm like, all right. And then as for coordination and whatnot, it's a little unfair because I played with Hudson for like probably a year and a half, maybe more now, on other teams. So we queued 10 comp games today. Like we were warming up today. It's really just as simple as like, I say I want to go for this person, or Akasha will be like, I want to go for this person, and then I say, are we set up? They give me like a yeah, no, give me a second, and then we just go in, and then things just kind of happen from there.
Nice, yeah. You could definitely tell that you guys were warmed up with that synergy, and yeah, that makes sense with your history of Hudson. As an organization then, and as sister teams, how much communication is there between the teams and helping each other out? Is there between both those org teams?
Not really. I mean, we have like the same coaches, but that's about it.
Right.
We're just kind of like two separate entities in like one server most of the time. I mean, we intermingle sometimes. In our warm-up, we had Banana Shake ring for a map, or for a round, because Akasha was doing something. But other than that, we're just kind of like, we have like the Berlin Wall in between us,
Right.
It's not like a bad way. It's just
that is certainly
a bit bad.
That's an analogy that I. Yeah, that's. All right, sure. I was gonna ask something like, oh, if you're part of the same org, does that help with communication? It's like, no, it's the Berlin Wall, but it's like, okay, that's
like ich bin ein Berliner, like.
Of course.
Of course.
Isn't that like because like a Berliner is like a donut. Like this, sorry, this is just a really random bit of knowledge I have, but like when JFK said like, oh, was it JFK? When one of the presidents said like, ich bin ein Berliner.
I think it was
Johnson.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, when Johnson said ich bin ein Berliner, he was basically saying, hi, I'm a local pastry. Like.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't even know that. I took 4 years of German. I didn't know that's what it meant. So.
I mean, apparently it does. Like, I watched one episode of QI, and that was that was on there, I guess.
Huh. Interesting.
Real conversation killer, huh?
No, you're chilling. You're fine. I get it. But
I'm gonna ask you an actual question.
Yes. To get back on track.
Instead of just like a random did you know?
We do this for every interview, Loki.
That's fair. That's fair. Just like a general question. Does the Japanese on the logo like mean anything, or is it just like?
I think it. Oh, I have no clue.
I think it just means jinxed. I don't know.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
About this.
Oh,
I talked
hello.
Overwatch League Observer and also knows Japanese, and it's Jinx, but the first character is incorrect.
Oh, really funny.
Okay.
So it's not quite Jinx. It's like a slightly different sound. Like so it's close, but it's not. Yeah, it's like Binks or something. I don't remember exactly what it is.
That's
but it's not Jinx. Yeah, I can't remember what it is. Anyway,
I'm a big fan of Binkst.
That's
good old Binks.
I mean, hey, maybe just use the same branding next year and change the first letter of the team. You'll never know the difference.
Big red B. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be great.
Big red B.
Well, it is in B League. And talking of B, let's have a look at the B standings to see. Obviously, you guys are on top of the group, but
talk me through the rest of the teams in your group. Obviously, Famada, who went really far and won the. Did they win B League? I don't even know what happened. No, they didn't. They went to semifinals.
Power Wash
did. Power Wash took it, which is also in your group. So, how are you feeling about the teams that are in there?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I know like 3 people in the entirety of B League, and they're all on Power Wash. It's
Okay,
sort
so
of
Power Wash,
just,
what do you think?
it's sort of just like my own like bias with like playing with a lot of their players a ton, but I'm not really like, from my perspective, I'm not too worried about other teams. I sort of just like, I think they're strong, but I just play my own game and I make do with what I have. I don't like to think too hard about how other teams are performing when I can be thinking about how I'm performing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm just here to ring, so I don't know what's going on.
You're just here.
Coop has no idea what's going on, bro.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's just, like, I'm a C leaguer, so just saying, not my cup of tea. Although I will say, sorry to interrupt. I will say, I do think that Urchi Urchins is a really good name. So that's all I gotta say about it.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you very much, Jinxed, and we'll see Sunky Pants later in the week for playing on Hex for your second match of the week.
No. I have a concert to go to that day, so.
Oh, so you're ringing, but you won't be relevant for your own match.
Oh yeah.
That's
I won't
really
even be there
funny.
for my own match. Yeah, I have a concert to go to. So.
Well, you got your one match in this week, so there we go. It's good enough. Anyway,
maybe we get
congratulations.
Bakura in to ring for Hex. Who knows?
Hey, yeah, we'll swap it all around.
I mean, I already know who's ringing. I've seen the guy a couple times. I think he's cool. I'm not gonna say anything else. Because people care about C League, obviously. So.
Because you have to tune in to BPL 2 to find out exactly what happens. All right, it's all, you'll see it on the streams. Thank you very much, Swanky and Fuma. Good luck in the rest of the season.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Have fun.
Thank you.
See you later. Okay, well that's it for today. Isn't that crazy? It's a BPL stream that doesn't go on for 18 hours and is forever behind. We're not even at 1 a.m. yet, or I guess what, 8 p.m. Like we're in time because nobody likes Third Point Dorado. Apparently, we're never going there, which is fine. But what was I gonna do? Oh, I was trying to make me appear. That would be pretty good, wouldn't it?
It is a little strange to have a disembodied voice coming from nowhere.
Yeah, it happens. Here I am. Squeeze myself.
There we go.
Yeah, so we've got more coming up, of course, throughout the rest of the weekend. We have 16 matches a week in BPL, and we try and stream every single one. So that's 2 done, 14 to go this week. Keep a countdown of that and try not to get burnt out from that one. Tomorrow we have a big old stream from 6 till 10 tomorrow, well, till 11 actually. Eastern time, starting off with a C League match, Kingston's Bungaria versus 3am Cup of Coffee. Then we head over to Aquila and Average Joe's, which was pretty hyped when people were talking about both of those teams coming in. In fact, that was the first round match they played each other in bracket last week, and Aquila took that 2-1. I think that was also the one with the draws, right? So that was the 4-map series. That was the first of 2. So who knows what could happen tomorrow? Let's hopefully make sure that doesn't go for 2 hours long, especially when we have all the other matches. Plague Doctors will be taking on Gummy Ship. The Urchi Urchins versus the Krillionaires will be match 4, and then we'll close out the night with Unknown's Frenetic, who won the A-League bracket last week. We'll also have some games on BPL 2 for more of the C League. So from 7 and 8, we'll have Hexed, who Swanky will be playing but won't be playing. We'll be taking on Devour, and Cerebral Harmony will be taking on Forsaken. And that's all of our matches for Saturday. We've got some more on Sunday as well. But that's it for today. Isn't that crazy? That's it. Wow.
I'm shocked as you are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving it because all the things that we broke, we can now fix before tomorrow, and we don't have to wake up early. Amazing. That's what I love to hear. Well, that's everything for today. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 6 Eastern. Shout out to everyone behind the scenes who's been working so hard on getting everything ready. Really want to shout out all the people who were working on media and graphics. You've seen 2 videos already today. Shushi's introductory video, a hype video for the weekend, and then the top 10 plays from someone whose name begins with an R, and I'm going to have a look at it so I can shout you out because it's really cool, and I got pinged about it, literally like, it was a Recneps. Oh, Spencer, backwards, I see. I was pinged about it, and then literally like 30 seconds later, you guys threw the break, and I was like, this is the time. So, shout out to them for making all this happen, and Dilby and all the art team, and Caden on the socials, or Jinx on the socials, has been killing it. You can see all the clips and stuff on there. It's going to be really fun. And of course, to Funky Monk and Gia for taking us through today. It's been a lovely day. We've had the local knowledge, so we can actually say the correct names, and we'll just have to employ for every single match that this team plays.
Yes, I will be the expert.
We need it. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for more BPL action. See you later.
Good night.
Bye-bye.